Sure. As you know, almost 3.5 years ago, we set off to transform the company into a solution provider. Basically, be able to take the problem statement from the customers, the enterprise, medium, small, and turn it into a complete solution. In that regard, we have made significant achievement. We have basically have accomplished the task. As you know, the technology evolves, and we will continue moving in that direction. Therefore, we are truly an end-to-end solution company today. We have the product portfolio from desktop all the way to the enterprise building blocks such as servers, storage, networking gears. We recently announced a software division with a president leading that organization, reporting to our chairman. Therefore, that's indication of it being even more solution focused. In terms of how we have achieved this the last 3.5 years, we have grown organically. We have places where we could have developed the talent, the technology, the expertise, the IP internally. We have done that. And if we didn't have it, and we had to have it quickly, we have gone out and procured company. We have purchased close to about 19 companies the last couple of years. And this will continue. We will purchase more companies this year. These companies have brought to the Dell intellectual properties, technologies ranging from services as well as management for data center infrastructure, as also for storage, bringing storage devices into the portfolio. The most and also security. The most recent acquisitions are App Assured, which is technology to provide high availability and fault tolerant for the full stack, solution stack, as well as Sonic Vault, which is a security related technology. Therefore, the transformation into a solution company has been made the most significant accomplishment. Clearly, this is a very important market for us, geography for us, both from the market perspective as also from a talent perspective, technical talent. Some of the acquisition that we have done recently, for all practical purposes, I consider them Indian companies. For example, Force 10, which is a major networking company which we acquired recently, has a bulk of their employees presence in India, in Chennai. It's a Chennai-based company. Ocarina is another company in Hyderabad. So that's an example of how we have tapped into the Indian market in terms of the Indian technology skill set, IP set, as well as we have grown our R&D capabilities here in India organically. For instance, we have an R&D center in Bangalore that has in excess of 1,000 engineers. Some of the product features that you see today related to our 12th generation server, such as management infrastructure for these machines, were designed and developed at the R&D center in Bangalore, the Dell R&D center in Bangalore. Almost all of the virtualization, qualification, and integration is done in Bangalore. All of the solutioning of this 12G product into a more workload-oriented solution is also done in Bangalore. So that's an example or evidence of presence of Dell in the Indian technology as well as business market. You know, there might be receptivity or might be interest to acquire the machines from some other source, which might be a little bit cheaper to acquire. But when you look at the total cost of ownership of these equipment and the services to go with it and the support that goes with it, I tend to believe very well justifies and neutralizes, not only neutralizes, but overcomes that first acquisition cost. So I tend to believe, again, when you look at the total cost of ownership of infrastructure, computing infrastructure, it makes much more sense to have the equipment and the technology from a company such as Dell. You know, I gave you a few examples of our presence in this and commitment to this market. We also have a factory in this country that we produce building block servers for the market, specific for the market. And then you consider the services capability. We bought Pro Systems a few years ago, and as you know, they have a very strong base here in India again. So also I would consider them as an Indian company. So to your question, when you look at the Dell capability end-to-end in terms of the technology, in terms of the R&D skill set and presence in India, as well as the ability to service the enterprise customers, as well as medium, small, all range of customers, we have a very good size service presence here because of that acquisition. This will make Dell much more preferred vendor to deal with than any other vendor outside of this area. So I tend to believe the strength of the Dell in terms of the product set, the technical capability, and the presence, technical presence, R&D presence, and services make Dell to be more desirable. And the way we have neutralized or subsidized is through the services, through the full solution offering, through the support, post-sales as well as prior to the sales. Is important when you're acquiring technology for the data center and so on. You'll be able to do a proof of concept, to be able to see the performance, to be able to touch and feel the technology and the solution. And we have that capability here, which other vendors might not have. The 12G servers that we are announcing here today is basically the next wave of our server product line, which is based on Intel latest Sandy Bridge chipset. And if you contrast that chipset and its capability with the prior generation of Intel chipset, is much faster, more core. The platform is capable of supporting more memory, larger amount of memory. We also interviewed close to or discussed with close to about 7,700 customers across the globe, spanning about 17 countries, to find out what additional features and functions they need relative to our 11G, and we basically designed 12G based on that feedback. So if you look at the 12G product line, we don't talk about speed and feed anymore. We talk about what workload, what application, what problem the customer trying to solve. If they, for example, if they have a technical computing application, a simulation application, designing another piece of equipment, we have a product, a server in the 12G product line that fits that application. If they have a transaction processing need, we have our, for example, R820, the rackable 820, that's the model number, which is very suited. It's a 4-socket machine, 4-processor, with each socket multiple cores with much more memory suited for that application. So really we have designed the 12G very much based on the needs of the customers of their applications, and these products are being marketed, are being sold with the application in mind. See, one of the key architectural philosophy or paradigm that Dell has endorsed and has followed for almost past 20 years is this notion of a scale out versus a scale up. Scale up is if you need more processing power, more computing resources, you basically take the box that you have and replace it with a box that has more processors and so on. And that lends itself to more of a proprietary design. Our philosophy is a scale out. In other words, we will build the infrastructure using smaller building blocks that are industry standard, that are open. In other words, there is some level of choice that the customer has, and they are affordable. Now, when you have the scale out philosophy, there are other benefits that comes with it. Besides buy as much as you need, no more, no less, such as these additional advantages, such as the ability to run older and new technologies together, coexistence of old and new. So if our customers already have 11G machines, let's say in the Oracle transaction system, and more power can in or augment what is already there with the 12G additional building block, where the 11G and 12G basically coexist and work. So this coexistence, because of the scale out philosophy, is the way to potentially inject this new 12G into the customer environment without much of a provisioning or taking the old stuff out. So that's an example of how we manage to make sure the existing investment that the customer has is preserved. Now, of course, there are applications that will not benefit from a 11G, or the application has evolved, has brought in additional features that the older generation of machine might not be able to support. In that case, it is wise for the customer to also replace the platform with the newer one that can support the features that the application has brought to bear. So it all depends on the customer scenario. So depending on the application, if the application will benefit from the older but needs a little bit more scalability, we can inject 12G. If it doesn't benefit because the application has evolved, doesn't benefit anymore from the 11G, or 11G cannot support it, then we recommend replacing the 11G with 12G. And clearly part of our basically making these platforms ready for application and solution is highlighting these differences as a function of the application. There are, for example, another benefit of 12G is the power consumption is less than 11G. So if power is of concern to the customer, they might not consider to upgrading their machine to 12G. Multiple ways in training, for example, making sure that they have the right training on the equipment, being able to give them a heads up as far as upcoming technologies, providing our resources, our laboratory resources, for example, technical resources available to them. For example, the R&D center that we have in Bangalore often is used by some of our VARs and partners to bring their customers into our lab environment for proof of concept, for assessing, looking at the technology, having technical architectural discussions. These are examples of how we enabling these channel partners by providing to them the resources that we have available to us. This is basically one of the 4 major city roadshow If I'm not mistaken, we still have 2 more to go. We have been in Mumbai, Delhi today, Bangalore, and Chennai. These are the 4 major cities that we will have similar roadshow. This is basically the launching introduction of these new generation servers into the Indian market. I want to stress, though, it is not only the server itself, is basically the full solution set that comes with it, such as collaboration, messaging, databases, online transaction processing, supercomputing, virtualization. These are all the capabilities that come with this building block, the 12G